Quick, everybody pull a Williams.
Welcome back to the second draft.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. So in case you didn't see last week's game, Saints looked like they had it until Marcus Williams, for some reason, just kind of let Stephon Diggs score a touchdown to win the game. And they're calling it the Miracle in Minnesota. I don't want to know what they're calling it in New Orleans.
Blunder?
Yeah.
Something about the devil? I don't know.
Voodoo?
Yeah, those voodoo dolls, man. They're going to be selling those in Viking shapes
Yeah.
for years to come.
Teddy Bridgewater, watch your knees, bro.
Oh, man. Adam Thielen was on fire in that game.
Really was. Yeah. Vikings.
Good.
You know, we said when we came to the playoffs, whatever the outcome of these games, we just want them to be exciting, fun games. And if they end up being surprises, that's all the better because it makes for better football. And damn, that's what we got.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Jaguars beat the shit out of the Steelers.
Ugh.
And the Steelers started beating the shit out of them.
painful.
And then the clock just kind of ran out. And then they fired their offensive coordinator. They fired Todd Haley. Yeah.
Yeah, Todd Haley should have gotten fired.
Yeah. So the Jags have moved on. They're squaring up against the Patriots. And why don't we just jump into that game? Who wants to go first? Paige doesn't want to go first. Nobody wants to go first. Okay, I'll go first.
No, I'll go first.
Okay,
I'll go
Alex will
first.
go first.
I'm not scared about this pick. No.
Not scared.
I don't know what happened last week with the Jags and the Steelers. What a wild game. Like, I remember people having a conversation next to me in the bar talking about Bortles, and they were just like, oh, everybody was talking trash, and then look what happened this week. And I honestly don't think that this is indicative of any kind of streak for him. I think he played like a pro quarterback, so good on you, Bortles. They put up major points. I think that's because Fournette pulled out a hat trick, and they actually let him run.
Yeah.
Look at that. They did what we've been telling them to do this entire season.
Amazing,
and let the golden boy go crazy. And hitting him in the interview afterwards, he's just kind of eyes forward. He's ready for the next game. Still, I don't think the Patriots just still look crisp and clean and dominant. So I think, unfortunately, I won't be rooting for them, but I do think they are headed to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't want to go Patriots.
But
I don't think anybody really wants to go Patriots except for people in New England.
I'm tired. I'm so tired of the Patriots at this point. I'm so tired. I mean, people are saying, like, oh, I'm so tired of the Steelers. Like, no, the Steelers haven't been to 5 Super Bowls in the last 8 years. That's not a thing that's happened.
Yeah.
So I'm sick of you, Patriots. Go away. And the Steelers game was particularly painful for me because my husband is a Steelers fan, and it just so happened to be his 36th birthday.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
On that Sunday. So let me tell you guys that as the wife who was like making birthday brownies and making his favorite deviled eggs and making yummy things for dinner, the amount of quiet in our house was astounding. And it was like, if you dared make a sound, it's not that bad. Like Brad's
did
not
Brad
super emotional. Like, he doesn't take it out on me.
He didn't grab the entire tray of brownies and go sit in the closet and eat the whole pan, did he?
He barely even ate.
Poor guy.
Yeah, he
he
just sat there and like kind of whimpered, which was like for a big like 6'6" man who plays goalie, like that's a weird thing to see as a wife. And I text these guys and I was like, Brad is not happy. And he gets super quiet. And he's never quiet. So when he's really quiet, it's really strange.
How does Brad feel about Boswell right now?
I think he's more pissed off at Todd Haley.
Fair enough.
I think
because some of those play calls were just complete garbage. And I don't know why Ben just didn't say, F you, I'm going to do what I know works. And use Levy. Like, they hardly use Le'Veon the way that he should be used. I just the Jags defense is elite. That's really good. I get that, but there were a lot of missed opportunities in that game.
Yeah.
And the way that it started, I walked in and was unloading groceries because I went to the store to pick up the things to make him all his favorite things, and
rough start.
the look I got from him was just like, I didn't, because I wasn't really keeping track of the game. Not good. Not
Wasn't it
good.
at least 2 touchdowns that Fournette had alone in the first half?
First half.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
Back it up
defense,
there.
even though Artie was playing, I think that they really suffered
Yeah.
from him being injured. I think the only reason he played was because that game is what it was. But as well as the Jaguars played against the Steelers, and they did. They balled out. They played a really excellent game. And as much as I would love to see them take out the Patriots, I don't think they can. I hope I'm wrong. I'm going Patriots. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong.
It seems.
But
to me
that's
like
my
the Steelers' defense and
long-winded
special
way of
teams.
saying I just don't know
Yeah.
the Jaguars.
I think it was their defense, special teams on the Steelers side that kind of like lost it for them.
I agree.
There were some big broken plays that score from Bohannon, like wide open in the middle.
Yeah.
He just feigned a block for 2 seconds, and it was nobody. You could have passed it to 5 receivers within 5 yards of him, and any one of them would have caught the ball without any protection. So
Yeah.
it was, I don't know, it was pretty blown open plays that I saw anyway. I don't know.
Yeah.
DT, who do you got for this next week though?
I want to say Jaguars. I really do. Obviously not because of Blake Bortles, but just because. I don't
So
know.
overrated. He's going out of the season. He's going to be the most overrated
Yeah.
quarterback. So overrated.
For sure,
He's not
for
good.
sure.
He's
Yeah.
he's passable. He's fine.
But we said last week he was.
He's better than
exposed.
Tom Savage.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
he's no
Bortles-
Deshaun Watson. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no. Bortles is a quarterback. If he wasn't exposed up at this point, he definitely was last week. He's clearly not the driving force of that team. It's the defense and Leonard Fournette. It's hard to ever root against Belichick because he's such a master planner and he's going to know exactly what he needs to do to try and stop the Jaguars.
And Matt frickin' Patricia.
Who wants it more? I wonder. I think Jacksonville wants it more.
Yeah, they have to.
I think they're going to fight a hell of a lot harder. It's kind of like the very first Mighty Ducks movie where it's the Ducks versus the Hawks, and you can very clearly see who's the Mighty Ducks. And I think Calais Campbell's a kind-hearted Fulton Reed.
Yeah.
He's just going to be looking to knock people around.
And let's talk about how Calais was eating the Steelers alive.
I think he's going to do it again this week. I'm going to go Jags. That's my wild take.
I love it.
I think the Jags are going to take it. I think they want it more. I think they're way more hungry. I think Calais is going to be explosive. I think Fournette's going to be explosive. I think the Patriots are. It's going to be a close game. I think they're going to be a little bit surprised just at how badly Jacksonville wants this, and I think that might kind of offset them a little bit. And I expect Brady to throw 2 picks. That's my hot take.
Oh, I would love that. I love when he
But
throws picks.
I'm going Jags. Yeah, that's my
I'm
air
curious.
horn DJ pick of the week. Yeah, Jags.
I think it's if you're gonna make a weird, like crazy pick. I mean, there's only the 2 games to choose from, but yeah.
Don't take this away from
Take
me.
your pick of 2.
No, I'm saying I get it. Like,
Yeah.
you look at defenses wins championships, right? So
Right.
It does.
when I look at this matchup, I think can Jacksonville's offense score heavily against the Patriots defense?
Right.
And I think the Patriots defense is better than the Steelers defense, and I think that their
for sure.
offense is on the field for so much time that they don't usually need to worry about it too much. So,
Right.
I don't think this is like most people's thoughts will be on how can Tom Brady compete with the Jacksonville defense that has a lot of heart right now, a lot of like gumption moving forward. I'm looking at can Bortles prevent the Yips come out swinging against a Patriots defense, which I still think is pretty sound. So
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the one reason I didn't pick the Jags is Bortles is
He's the
he's
X factor.
not reliable. He's just not. And in high pressure situations, I mean, he did fine, against the Steelers. They did well, but a lot of that was Fournette. So Bortles has to hand the ball off and not mess that up. Not super hard.
They need to have the pass game on offense, right?
And they do, because you know that Patriots defense is going to go straight for Fournette because they know that that's their major weapon. So
maybe it comes down to Marquise Lee, because they tried to pull some crazy stuff with him before.
Yeah.
It's like end around reverse plays and things like that. I don't think they worked very well, but if they can make them land against the Patriots, that might be the deciding factor.
Yeah.
Because then that'll open up Fournette. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'm looking forward to this game more than I am the other. I think.
I think I'm looking forward to them equally for different reasons. I think.
Sure. Okay. Well, let's talk about that game then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the Vikings and the Eagles, in Minnesota. That's
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that game, that Vikings game was completely bananas.
Yeah.
Completely. And I know you guys picked the Saints last week, and I picked the Vikings, and y'all were stunned. And I was sitting there thinking, like, oh shit, I made it. Like, I picked wrong, and then
Case
the
Ace
Vikings
Keenum.
magic.
Well, we made the joke at the beginning of this video, and if Marcus Williams had just gone for the tackle and said, I don't know, people are torn at this point, did he whiff Stephon Diggs and just miss him, just miss the tackle completely? Or did he hesitate and try and prevent pass interference, or maybe a personal foul?
Right, because he didn't want, that's a bad thing to do
To me,
at that moment.
he tried to tackle at the knees somebody who was 3 feet in the air already, and what he could have done is just jump in the air and just knock Stephon Diggs out of bounds and just negated the catch altogether if he wanted to. It was a weird play. I feel bad for the kid because it looked like he just second-guessed himself for whatever reason, and I don't blame him for it. I mean, it was a super close game, an exciting finish. It was just one of those things. I hope he bounces back from it next year. I hope I think fan base, I think people in general, once they cool off, and I think they will cool off after this week, they'll kind of sort of let it go and forget about it a little bit, and it won't be so bad for them. But
hopefully.
But yeah.
But it's like the Scott Norwood situation with Buffalo in that Super Bowl, and they lost because Scott Norwood missed the kick.
Yeah. It's hard to beat that guy.
On one level, yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that guy wants to win the game. He's not like trying to sabotage on purpose.
Yeah.
And you also know that you have a split second to make a decision on that field, and if you've never been on that stage at that level before, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And it's also a game can come down to one play, certainly, but I've never seen a game in the years I've been watching football, so like 2 decades. I've never seen a game where it was one person's fault that they lost the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so you can, that's the marquee play for that game for the Saints. But that's not the only reason they lost.
Absolutely.
So I think people who are, fired up and sending him death threats and nasty things, he shut down his Twitter account because people are being so heinous. Number one, y'all, if y'all are those people, shame on you. That's awful.
Yeah. Save those threats for the president.
Yeah. Please.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, you don't want Secret Service showing up.
I don't want Secret Service showing at my door right
now. But cut the guy some slack. Yeah. There were a lot of errors. Sean Payton made some weird freaking coaching errors too in that game.
Did. He does that
timeouts
shit a lot. Yeah. That weird challenge in the fourth quarter. Why the hell were you?
Oh no! There were two weird challenges. Yeah, So if I break
up
down
a valuable timeout
on a bullshit challenge,
and he did it. And he did it twice. He did it two times. He did it back to back. It was ridiculous. From both times, he's listening in his headset. I'm sure he's got somebody telling him I don't know. It's questionable, coach. Don't make that call. Your timeouts, and you can tell by the pace of the game and how much they were back and forth, how valuable those timeouts were going to be in later in the game in 5-6 minutes from those decisions that he made.
Right.
Yeah.
If I look at Williams and I saw it happen in the Jacksonville's Pittsburgh game too, where the defensive players, their mind is on 100 different things at once. It's on who's my person that I'm supposed to be covering, where's the clock at right now for time management's sake, because I'm thinking that, and even some of the commentators were pointing it out, that they were letting blocks go, and I think some Steelers, the tight end for the Steelers, not James, but
Vance McDonald.
McDonald got some yards after the catch a couple times because the Jacksonville defense just kind of like let him through because they thought he was just going to step out to save the clock. That happened on a couple occasions. I'm thinking Williams maybe was thinking the same thing, that they have no time on the clock. Diggs is going to grab the ball and step out as soon as he can.
Yeah.
So maybe he just like pulls his head up and he's thinking that, someone on the other side of the field is going to come across and save that if need be, and then it'll come down to the kick. But I don't know. I'd have to look at it again. I think, he probably just made a gut reaction mistake. So, so be it. But like you said, Paige, I don't think it's not entirely his fault. There's so many things that go on in that game.
He's a fraction of the reason that they lost that game.
Marcus Williams? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be like, the Bills lost. If you watch, I've watched that whole Bills Super Bowl where Scott Norwood kicked it way too far to what was it, the right?
Yeah.
And there were so many opportunities for Buffalo to win that Super Bowl, and they didn't. And so the fact that for decades this kicker has lived with people being upset with him about this, like, y'all need to look at your entire, rewatch that game and see where all the other things went wrong. And you could totally do the same thing with the Saints game.
Right. If winning or losing comes down to one single player, then the whole team has failed.
Right. The Cardinals, Steelers Super Bowl with Santonio Holmes and that catch. Yeah. The Cardinals lost that Super Bowl before that even happened.
Yeah.
There were so many things that went wrong. Yeah. They didn't play a complete game. And that's what happens when you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm thinking, when you know your team as a head coach, you know your team is a second half team and more than that, a fourth quarter team.
Mm-hmm.
You save your damn timeouts. I'm going to be raving about it for the next year probably.
Yeah.
Because I was so heartbroken to see that happen in the end. I mean, cool for Minnesota fans. I'd be rooting for Vikings at the Super Bowl. I anticipate them going there. I said that before the game started. I was like, I told my wife, whoever is the winner of this game is who I'm going to kind of I'm going to be waving their banner for the Super Bowl.
Sure.
So I'm hoping that the Vikings do well this week. But anyway, that game, I'm thinking the entire time, he just lost the game after he did the second challenge in a row. The first one maybe is arguable, but the second challenge, I'm going.
I think you even text that in the group text, something like that.
Yeah,
because that's ringing a bell.
Yeah. I think I said something like he just blew the game.
Yeah.
Because they mounted a comeback after that because Michael Thomas, which was my call out from last week, is if they can find him, then they're going to have some momentum on offense and they're going to get in the end zone, and that's going to open up the run game a little bit. And that's kind of how it developed in the end. But it came down to defense, and I honestly didn't expect the Vikings to be able to come out with that little amount of time and get to where they did on the field. Yeah. So kudos to them for getting there, and I think that shows the efficiency of their offense, and I hope we see that again next week. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So are you going Vikings or Eagles?
I'm going to go Vikings. Yeah. I think the Eagles showed up last week.
Yeah, they did.
Which was really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Vikings are by far the better team. Their offense, Paige has been raving about it for weeks now. Their offense is just electric. They're doing incredible things. So and the defense is solid. So I don't think.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That was it. Yeah, I don't know.
Xavier Rhodes was on fire. My boy, Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah.
Lights out.
Kid is good.
Oh my God.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also going Vikings. I think the Eagles will make this interesting. Nick Foles has proven that he's a good enough quarterback to not screw up the game. But I think overall the talent on both sides of the ball favors the Vikings. And I am super rooting for a Vikings home Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because if it's going to be the Vikings and the Patriots, I think those Vikings fans will, like, gut somebody with their Viking horns that are Patriots fans. And I think they're going to make just, like, the same home field advantage that the Patriots have at Gillette. Imagine that in a Super Bowl where the Vikings are playing at home. That is gonna, like, the horns are gonna be blowing, and the fans are gonna be drunk out of their ever-loving minds.
They're all gonna be rowing a boat and
it's gonna be crazy.
The whole stadium's gonna be doing the skulls.
Yeah,